You're here to hear about SAP and Databricks today. I am a product marketing lead at Databricks for SAP, and I'm here to just get a lay of where we're at with SAP and Databricks both. So, can I get a quick show of hands who here today is a Databricks customer or uses Databricks in some capacity? Most of you. Okay. Who here uses SAP today? Amazing. And then who here has tried to get SAP data closer to Databricks or to do some kind of AI, ML analytics? Was that fun? No show of hands, right? There you go. We got this a lot from customers when we launched many new partnerships. Say, hey, what about my SAP data? How do I get that in Databricks? How do I do AI, ML, SQL analytics, notebooks, a lot of blending of SAP and non-SAP data. And that's when we announced this partnership earlier this year. And we're here to invite SAP to tell you a little more. So Hari, welcome to the talk, and I would love to welcome you on stage to tell you a little more about why this partnership is truly groundbreaking, because we here for the first time are launching SAP Databricks. Databricks is OEM product inside of SAP Business Data Cloud. And this is where the magic happens, and you're here to tell you more about that. Welcome, Hari.
So this is going to be a different way of presenting because you don't hear the sound. I'm expecting you all hear me. This is super weird, but hey, we'll get through it. So I'm Haridas Nair. I handle all the BDC ecosystem integrations and product management. So today I'll walk you through essentially the SAP strategy overall that we announced earlier in the year, then how Databricks and BDC fit in, and then we'll go into a bit more detail on what exactly we do with Databricks. Yeah. So let me start with the basic scenario, right? In most companies, you're looking for this North Star, closed loop immediate decision making. But the practical aspect of that is today, you get data from your applications, you load it into a data warehouse, then somebody works on a dashboard, gets some insights, and then takes that insights, then thinks about it, and then he does something which results in further data getting back into the application. Now this is neither super closed loop or nor immediate, right? It takes time for an insight to get an action done and data getting generated in the application. But now with the nexus of data and AI coming together much closer, and with the access to applications that SAP has, SAP is in a great position to really bring that together, that closed loop decision making. And that's precisely the strategy we announced. Fundamentally, in a simple terms, what the strategy is, SAP applications generate enterprise critical, mission critical data. That data for the first time is being extracted, curated, and provided in a managed service environment called the Business Data Cloud. And this is huge. This is the first time it's being done from all the line of business applications. And that data is now made available for analytics and AI. Analytics is pretty clear. We can do inside dashboard, et cetera. But with AI, when the data is available for AI, there are two important things that happen. One is you can use AI for human decision making, decision making that is assisted by AI, which is essentially your co-pilot like capability. And we call it Joule. So that allows you to look at the data and make a decision. Then in order to operationalize that decision at scale, we have the agentic support. Yeah. So now with the data available for analytics and AI and with the support for agentic, you can then land the data. When you operationalize those decisions, they interact with the applications which generate further data, which then is sucked back into the Business Data Cloud. So essentially the strategy is centered on data, powered by AI, and enriched by SAP's applications. So that is net-net what we have announced earlier in the year. Now let me take a moment and go through the details of the Business Data Cloud. So what we have here is 3 layers. So as I said, for the first time ever, SAP is extracting the data from all its line of business applications, and we land it in a common format on the bottom layer called data products and harmonized data models. So what we are doing is we're essentially curating the data and landing in a data lake that is managed by SAP. And why is this important? So today, in most organizations, you as a customer is managing all the ETL, and there are myriad ways to get at that data. There is replication, there are API endpoints, and all of that. All that kind of goes away, and for the first time ever, you're able to get that data from SAP, landed by SAP, managed by SAP. There are a few important things that come with that. First is once you land the data as data products, you now don't have to hit the applications over and over again to get at the data. For example, if you think of an ERP system, multiple parties in an organization want to get the data from there, and they all tend to hit the ERP system, causing a load on the operational system. Many CIOs don't allow you to hit the system. So for the first time ever, that data is available as data product in a managed lake environment from which you can share. Yeah? And there the data products are available as part of a delta share mechanism in the lake. The second thing is that data will be available with semantics for you. And that is, again, a very important thing, because when you are replicating data out of the SAP systems, you are replicating raw data out. Yeah? You didn't get the semantics, you had to rebuild the semantics. And fundamentally, in a simple analogy, what that means is, when you replicate raw data, it only tells you what it is, like quantity is equal to 100. But when you really want to know what it means, is it 100 pallets, is it 100 packages? That's what you mean by the semantics. So SAP is able to offer all that information with the semantics available in the data product for you to do these instead of rebuilding it. And the third thing is, now the data products will be available for downstream consumption using a delta sharing approach. So instead of having to replicate the data and manage multiple copies downstream, you can now share the data. That data is managed and maintained consistently by SAP, and you'll be able to. And by consistency, I mean, for instance, if you take a purchase order data product, it'll have header, line items, and all that. We will manage the consistency instead of you having to replicate 5 tables and having to manage the consistency downstream. So that's again a super important aspect of data products, and they are harmonized in that lake layer by SAP. Now the layer above that, you see a series of engines. These are the engines that will consume the data product, and they come with certain innovations that we've landed as part of BDC. So the first engine that you see is DataSphere. DataSphere was an existing engine which allowed you to understand the semantics of SAP data and allowed you to model the data with self-service modeling, and then use the analytics tools over that. So with DataSphere, what we've now done is we have added a lakehouse support under DataSphere, which means customers, as they load data into it, now they have a cheaper way of storing the data in an object store in a Delta Lake environment. So any data products they create themselves or derive out of the standard data products SAP provides can land under the data lake under DataSphere. So that's an innovation we've added there. The second thing is you see analytics and planning. There what we have done is, especially when it comes to planning, today the challenge with planning tools is you have the actual data sitting somewhere and planning data sitting somewhere. You end up copying and moving this data. Now for the first time, the actuals data and the planning data models can both sit in DataSphere, and the SAC planning can work against that. And that's huge because typically you end up moving the plan data. Now you don't have to, you can merge both the plan data and the actual data together in one environment that is under DataSphere. The third important thing is you see BW modernization it says. So BW is our on-prem data warehouse in the market for 15, 20 years, and it has significant amount of data from our ERP systems within that. So what we're enabling is to move that into a private cloud environment as part of BDC. It'll become a trusted entity in BDC and make the data available for both analytics and AI/ML. Yeah. So we'll have an extractor within that where it'll be able to extract the data, land it in an object store, make it available for analytics and AI. And that is where Databricks also comes into the picture, in that till now, with the engines we had available, we could do analytics really well. But now with Databricks combined into the mix, we can do analytics and AI/ML together really well. And especially with the 15, 20 years of historical data that's sitting in the BW, now made available in an object store in BDC, that becomes significantly useful, not only for analytics through DataSphere, but for AI/ML with Databricks. And Databricks, of course, there's a few other things we can get to that. And the AI foundation part is really enabling models that you create to be, so we have a AI hub where you can access all the different LLMs provided. SAP manages all that. So that's a focus of the AI foundation, where if you use Databricks to build a model, in order to serve it, you can deploy it to a Gen AI hub that SAP manages. Yeah. So that's the middle part where the engines are there with innovations in that they will be able to access the standard data products in the layer below, and you can create derived data products. And with the addition of Databricks in the middle, the huge benefit you get is that for the first time ever, a data analyst, a data scientist, and a data engineer, all three are able to collaborate. Previously, if they had to collaborate, you had to copy and move the data over to another data lake and they work there. Now they can collaborate seamlessly in one single environment. And that is kind of really an important aspect. Then the third thing SAP has done is we will ship pre-built applications that are managed by SAP, updated by SAP, the configuration lifecycle all managed. We call them intelligent apps. So for each of the domains, whether it's ERP, whether it's HR, whether it's spend, for each of these domains, we will have a series of applications that are completely managed by SAP in a managed service of environment and ship. And we'll have a series of partners working with us who will also create these applications and ship. So for partners, the big thing is that there's a whole white space of applications that they can create on top of the data products that are available that they can now build and ship to our customers. So again, an important area for both our partners, Databricks partners together to work jointly to build these applications on BDC, because now you have data from every line of business application available in that. And what that really expands is the ability for you to do these cross-analytic use cases that were not possible before because you had different ways to get the data from these back-end applications. So looking a little bit more deeper at Databricks in the box, in the BDC box, what does it do? There are three important things. One is that you get the notebook environment completely. You can work with that just like you're familiar with doing with that in Databricks environment. Second thing is, I talked about that BW data and the data products, right? That large amounts of 20, 30 terabytes sometimes data is available. You now with Databricks, because it can be, those data can be shared with Databricks, you certainly have the ability to do ad hoc SQL analytics against that data with the engine that is available. And of course, you can use Mosaic AI to work on that data too, and all the new data products that are being built. Definitely Unity Catalog is available so that you can have, for downstream consumption, you can manage and govern with that. And everything is Delta Share in the box. All the data products we land are available for sharing as a Delta Share, and that seamlessly works with Databricks in the box. So there is no data copying and managing. It is shared seamlessly with the Databricks environment in the box. And what we'll also have is a seamless sharing of that data with the Databricks brownfield environment. Because many of you raised your hands, you said you had Databricks in place, so we'll have that ability to share the data even with the brownfield environment. So whether you are greenfield, that is if you want to use the Databricks in the box, or you want to share data, both facilities will be available. Yeah. So I'll skip this slide because essentially one final thing on the customer is, at a macro level, what this does for our customers. Today, if you think about it, when a customer does such environments, whether it is a Databricks environment or an SAP environment standalone, and they're trying to build insights, about 60 to 65% of the time is spent in that ETL, getting the data prepared, and you are getting to about 15% of the time spent on insights. And these are stats I've heard from customers, and that's how I'm sharing it with the 60 and the 15% number. Now with the data products being curated and managed by SAP, that number can certainly come down to closer to 20 to 10. And you can now increase the amount of time you spend on the insights, because the whole task of managing ETL suddenly kind of goes away. And the analogy I would use is, in many companies, if you think of the data engineers, they sometimes live in shame and fear because the pipelines break, they're never sure whether the data is correct, they're never sure the report at the end is right or not. Now suddenly, with the data products being managed by SAP, at least for the SAP side of the business, they can live in pride and joy, because now someone is managing it consistently for them. So that's the shift, and that is a huge benefit for all people who have to do the ETL from the SAP data, which was anyway hard to manage initially. So what did we do with the integration of Databricks in the box? So when you get BDC, there'll be a button in there, say click here, and that onboards Databricks into the environment, because you have to have Databricks as a trusted entity in our environment so that they can share data easily. So that's the first step. The second step is, now we have a catalog where all the standard data products and derived data products are listed. you can go into the catalog and right click on a data product and say share with Databricks. It is that seamless an experience, and it would then appear in the Unity catalog. Then once you're on the Unity side and Databricks side, you blend it with other data. You now have a capability there to create a data product to share back with SAP. That is the third step you see at the bottom, where SAP data products, you can create the data product in Unity catalog and create a share, which is then shared back with our business data catalog. And now you can blend that data in the modeling environment that DataSphere provides, and you can run the dashboards. So where does this make sense? So essentially, when you're building, for instance, I've got this example, you see the treasury dashboard and the postings outlier. So this was an example where at the bottom, all this ETL was going on. Much of that ETL now gets replaced by BDC. But previously, in order to do the postings outlier analysis, you had to copy the data over to a separate Databricks environment, do the analysis, copy the results back, and get to here. But now, for the first time ever, you can share that postings data. You can do the postings outlier analysis in Databricks, share the data results back, and have it blend into the dashboards and show it up in the treasury dashboard. So that is a huge difference in terms of automation that you can achieve that was super difficult before. Yeah. With that, let me finish with the last slide. There are two very important concepts that you as customers and partners want to keep in mind. The first is SAP will have a series of SAP-managed out-of-the-box standard data products from all its line of business applications. That is a step change in the way SAP has come to the table. But you'll also get the capability with the tooling we provide from custom managed, if you have on-prem systems today or you have not gone onto our cloud environment, you will still be able to get the data replicated into BDC, create a data product out of that, and then share it downstream. So both these cases are useful, especially for partners who are working with both of us. The custom managed data products become super important because now, because they have built a lot of IP with domain knowledge into our ERP systems, that data can be extracted using the custom managed route, brought that into BDC, and then shared with both the Databricks environment and of course the analytical environment that's available within BDC. So that really is where both Databricks and the SAP technologies come together, with the semantics now available to you as customers, because the semantics are wrapped up in our data products. Our data products are defined by a protocol called ORD, and it is open source. ORD has three important things. It will have the metadata around the data set. It will define the relationships among the tables, the primary key, foreign key, all those relationships are designed. And it will have an endpoint. The endpoint today is going to be a delta share endpoint. So thus, you don't need to copy the data, you can share the data and share it seamlessly with the Unity catalog. So that really is the big picture story, what we have. As I said, at SAP, the whole strategy now is centered on data, powered by AI and enriched by applications. And now in this mix, it used to be analytics predominantly. With the addition of Databricks, now it is analytics plus AI ML workloads together for a customer in a nicely integrated manner. So that's all I had. I'm happy to take any questions if you have.